Hey, everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Advocate Information High. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a very important topic for today's show. And it is the recent shootings that have been happening. And, well, we all know that a lot of the major crimes have been on the rise. And one of them are the recent shootings that have been happening. And, you know, even though it's been a problem before, it's started to really increase now. So I really want to get into this, and so let's do so. And I'm going to really try to my hardest to break this down into certain sections, and so that way, um, this is really to wake up both major political parties, but especially since elections are just basically right around the corner. So let's get right into this. Now, as I've said before in prior episodes, um, in which I've also been in contact with the New York City Mayor's office and the New York State Governor's office, because I strongly believe that it is time to lift the mandates for those that are 18 years of age and older, okay, and that are in certain professions such as 911 responders, healthcare workers, and frontline workers. I'm not saying for all professions. I'm specifically saying for uh, 911 responders, healthcare workers, and frontline workers. Let's lift the mandates for those 18 years of age and older that are in these professions. Okay, because by lifting the mandates for those 18 years of age and older that are in these professions, we can get a lot more workers back to work that are in these professions, and which are very important to do so at this point. And I've been keeping a very, very, very close eye on the COVID cases uh, within the state of New York, and in which it is proven that already for those 18 years of age and older, the COVID cases are very, very small, even with the variant. Okay, and there's been uh, very little to no hospitalizations, and fatalities are very low still. And so, with that being said, and also together with the fact that, with regard to the vaccine cases, for those 18 years of age and older, have been absolutely outstanding for that are fully vaccinated. That are fully vaccinated. The case for those 18 years of age and older are absolutely outstanding. So at this point, it would make more sense to lift the mandates for those 18 years of age and older that are in the professions that I just mentioned, that are 911 responders, healthcare workers, frontline workers. Let's lift the mandates for them, okay? And a lot of people have been asking me, well, what about those that are teachers and stuff like that? And uh, even though I understand where they're coming from, here's my response that I've been saying for so long. We are in the middle of April, okay? We're very close to the summertime, which means summer vacation will happen, graduations are going to happen, people are going to go on vacation, schools are going to be closed for the summertime. So it doesn't make sense for right now, anyhow, to lift the mandates for teachers at this point. And let's also not forget that we really need to improve the vaccines for those under the age of 18, really. Okay. Let's really work on that. Um, especially for those from 5 to 11, and those also under the age of 5. From meaning from 0 to 4 years old. Improvements for vaccines need to be done for them. Right now, there have been no vaccines for those in the age category from 0 to 4 years old. That's really got to start. That's really important. Uh, we need to really work on improving the vaccine cases for those from 5 to 11, and we need to do a little bit more improvement for those from like 12 to 17 years old. I mean, even though for the vaccine cases for those uh, from 12 to 17 years old for the state of New York, anyhow, that's been good. That's been a big improvement, but we need to work on it, a little bit more to really improve that. So at this point right now, it doesn't make sense to lift the mandates for those in the educational system, in the educational profession, I should say. Um, Not at this point, but I strongly believe that come before September, before school starts again in September, I strongly believe that as long as everything goes well, um, the vaccine cases for those uh, under the age of 18 will be strongly improved. And then, come just before the time when school reopens, you know, the mandates could possibly, more than most likely, be lifted uh, for teachers and for all those who work in the educational system, and and for children under the age of 18 as well. And so I strongly believe that it can be done, and I strongly believe that as long as everything goes well, it will be done. So, but anyways, but getting back to what we were saying about the current shooting incidents, you know, um, aside from lifting the mandates for those 18 years of age and older, uh, that are in the professions that I mentioned before, that are within the 911 responders, healthcare workers, and frontline workers. Um, if the mandates be lifted for them now, that would help improve things, and it'll look much better for the Democrats too. By the way, then if they tackle the topic of the broken mental health system, you know, I'm a big advocate for those with mental health, and it's been a broken system for I can't even figure out how long, but it needs to be tackled, and it really needs to be fixed. So if they do that, that'll look really good for the Democrats. And the other thing is uh, the broken bail reform law within New York, that has to go back to the drawing board. You know, from the prior governor administration of New York, and the prior administration for the New York City mayor, um, the bail reform law is a disaster. And this is coming from a Democrat. Okay. So, with that being said, it just needs to go back to the drawing board. So, if they fix that as well, that'll look really good for the Democrats as well. And, it would also partially look good for some Republicans as well, since they've been really trying to get the Democrats, like the mayor's office and the governor's office, to really go back to the drawing board and reform that bail reform properly and accordingly. But then here's the other section, the other part of this uh, issue: proper gun control reform. It needs to be done. Now, that's the other point that this uh, guy that went on that did the major shooting in the New York City subway just a couple of days ago, and because that was part of his issue to the mayor and the governor of New York. And you know, I can't stress this enough. For years and years, Democrats have been fighting so hard for proper gun control reform, meaning background checks. It's been the Republicans that have been against it for years. Okay, so if the Democrats keep pushing for proper gun control reform, that'll look good on them. And then they come the elections, they can say, "Hey, listen, it's been the Republicans that have been against the proper gun control reform. The Republicans are the ones that did not want background checks and stuff like that." So you could put the blame off on them for that. All right. So um I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. I'm just keeping it real. Or as the kids today say, just keeping it 100%, you know. So anyways, um and I can't stress how these issues are so severely important. I can't stress it enough. So I've been in contact with the New York City mayor's office and the New York State governor's office, and I have strongly urged or suggested to them that to lift the mandates for those 18 years of age and older that are in the professions of 911 responders, healthcare workers, and frontline workers. So hopefully that'll get done, and hopefully really, really soon. So if the New York City mayor or any of his workers, and if the New York State governor or any of her workers, if you're listening into these shows, I urge you to lift the mandates for those 18 years of age and older that are in the professions of 911 responders, healthcare workers, and frontline workers. I urge it very strongly. So, and then it's important to tackle the broken mental health system and to really tackle the broken bail reform law, and at the same time to still keep pushing for proper gun control reform. So, uh, I can't stress this enough, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, I want to remind all my fans out there about the business that my husband and I have together called AWLDNY, and the link to there is awldny.com. You guys can check out all the products on there. All the products that you see on there, we actually make ourselves. So I wanted to mention that. And I also wanted to remind all my fans out there about my other business, my other website that I have called Advocate Information Highway. And the link to there is AIHNY.com. Again, that's AIHNY.com. And you guys can check out all the pages on there. And on the homepage of the website, which is the first page of the website of Advocate Information Highway, you will see the link to my internet store on Zazzle.com, in which I designed a lot of products, and they're up for sale on there. Also, on the homepage of my website of Advocate Information Highway, you will see the links to the 2 books that I wrote. And if you guys follow those links, you guys can check out both of my books, and you guys can also purchase both of my books as well. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.